Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So, since the last episode, I've been very busy. Not so much on building as just preparations, let's say, for Endgame, as we start moving towards Endgame. And of course, last episode and a half, or however you want to classify it, we got power, storage set up, we got wireless crafting grid set up. We started mechanism, and then we also started mystical agriculture. So a lot of stuff in the last episode, and I've been expanding on a lot of that stuff. Now right over here, you'll notice I have an obsidian chest sitting next to this ultimate crafting table. This is one of the things I've been getting ready. If we open this thing up, I have started prepping the stuff that we need to make ultimate ingots. The worst things in this list, I mean, iron, gold, star metal, all that I could just pull out. Soulforged steel, not a problem to craft for us. The only issue with it is I've had my urns randomly vanishing. Like, I'll throw them into the crucible, they'll craft the soulforged steel, but then sometimes I won't get the urn back. I don't know if that's normal, because I didn't notice it happening until kind of more recently. So it does kind of slow down production of soulforged steel, because it seems like every 3 that I craft I lose an urn. Concentrated hellfire, platinum, redstone alloy, not a problem. I mean, I did have to craft the redstone alloy, but still not a problem. Invar, black iron, HLP graphite, I've been crafting that stuff up. Not really a problem. Copper, aluminum, lead, silver, nickel, constantan, electrum, steel. Refined obsidian, we haven't actually covered this one, but you can take that refined obsidian dust that we made last episode, run it through an arc furnace, and you get refined obsidian ingots. So not a biggie. Osmium, bronze, tin, modularium. All this stuff's pretty standard. I just want to go over it with you guys. Solarium, or solium, is what it is. This stuff, you have to actually craft the dust. And it takes 4 prudentium essence, which is just second tier, super easy. And then soul dust, which is either soulstone smelted, just soulstone smelted, which soulstone you can either mine the soulstone cobblestone in the nether, or you can craft it with soul sand and stone. I just crafted it because I have tons of that stuff. Cymerite, octane, cobalt, ardite, manulin, all pretty straightforward. Reinforced metal, of course, Steve's carts. Luckily, I have been ordering that stuff in the Amazon tablet quite a bit since we first set up the Amazon tablet. And I did upgrade the tank that's over there. So the tank, our blood tank that's over there, is like a tier 6 now. So it can store the same amount as a immersive engineering tank. Now, right now, I'm pretty much drained on kerosene and lubricant because I was ordering so much reinforced metal since last episode. But I think we're pretty good on it for right now. Enhanced Galgadorian, this is the worst. I've got 10 of that crafted. The only reason I stopped is because I actually kind of ran out of platinum between this and the Galgadorian, because you need the large lumps of Galgador. That's 9 lumps of Galgador for each one, and these, for 2 of them, it's a block of platinum, 3 eyes of Galgador, 3 glowstone, and 2 stabilized metal. Of course, we've covered that before, but and then I've got a full stack of Galgadorian, yay. 64 steel leaf, night slime, which is just another alloy. You can make a seed of this, but I decided not to do it. I just crafted a stack. It's not very hard to do. Pig iron is another alloy that you craft. This one you cannot make a seed of, and it just requires clay, blood, and iron, which blood you can get from rotten flesh. And then the 3 ender alloys. Okay, and we're missing a few things you can see right here. One of these is a mechanism ingot. We're going to craft that today. All the rest of these are mystical agriculture ingots, which we're going to be working on those today. Also, I did add shulkers to our mob farm, so we have shulker shells and shulker pearls. I had to go get some more of those to make that advanced ender alloy, so I figured I'd just grab them and set them into a spawner. So I ran them for a little while and then I stopped, because I think 1,500 shulker shells is more than enough, I'd say. I should think so, anyways. And then if we pop down, let's pop down to the mystical agriculture area. So down here I have done quite a bit of work. And yeah, like, look at this. Lubricant and kerosene and lubricant are pretty much drained at the moment. I pretty much annihilated those. But if we pop over here, I have done a bit of work. So I have expanded our inferium seeds. I have 5 of them in total, and that's about all I'm going to go with, because with it being on a server, we're actually getting in the essence fast enough that I don't feel like we necessarily need. I mean, I could benefit from having more, but after this runs, for a couple days, I'm going to have plenty of essence. So I have 5 tier 6 seeds. So initially, a lot of my essence was going to upgrading those seeds, but if we take a look at essence, I have 8 Insanium essence, which is the very top tier essence. So we have quite a bit of that. And then after the Inferium seeds, we have 5 other cloches that are running. One of these is Steel essence. Then we have Meteoric Iron essence. We have Desh essence. We have Quartz Enriched Iron. And we have Manulin. So that way it's just a little bit easier on us. Now that's not all of the cloches that I'm probably going to end up adding, but that's good for right now. That covers most of our bases. There's still a couple I might add, like bronze and stuff. But right now, those 5 are the key ones that I wanted to get put in. And honestly, the Manulin was mainly just because I had an extra cloche. So it's basically these other 4 that, I don't want to have to mess with the Galacticraft, Meteoric Iron, and Dash. Steel is kind of a pain, especially since we need it for a singularity and for crafting all those windows. I figured, we'll go ahead and do that. But now over here, this is something I've got set up. This lever is basically just for shutting this off to add recipes, because of course redstone will stop that output routing node from working. But over here I have an advanced power cell that is connected up to our system that's outputting. And I have 2 crafter tier 3s from RF Tools. These are actually standard recipes, so they're super cheap. The one on the right here is pretty standard. You can see I've got an output routing node and an input routing node. These are not filtered in any way. They're just plugged in, and they're all plugged into the primary system. And what happens is the output routing node pulls in Steel Essence, Desh, Meteoric Iron, Quartz Enriched Iron, and Manulin. And then I've just got recipes here. These 5 recipes set up to craft the items. It keeps wanting to do that. I don't know why, but anyways, it's set up to craft those items for us. And then, of course, the input routing node pulls them in and dumps them into our storage network. So pretty straightforward, I think. And then whenever I want to add more recipes, I just set it to on to activate. And I hit this, or I'll let the essence build up a little bit so I can set the filters back. But it's not going to actually craft with it. And then whenever I'm ready to actually add it, I'll hit the redstone, which stops output to this. And then I will forget the remembered layout, and then I'll reset it. So we've covered these things a million times, so I didn't feel like it was too important that we cover it again. I'm sure we'll cover some other essence on camera, but basically you add your recipe here, you hit apply, you set if you want it to go outside of the machine whenever it crafts, or if you want it to stay inside of the crafting buffer. And then remember, the current layout basically makes a whitelist of what can go in each slot. So you can lay things out, like take it and just drag it, and then you can remember the layout. And then your output comes out here and it gets pulled out. It's pretty straightforward. It's just an auto crafter. But the nice thing about the tier 3 is it can hold up to 8 recipes, which is quite handy. Now this one over here is a little bit more elaborate. You can see I've actually got 2 different output routing nodes and an input routing node connected to this. One of these output routing nodes is connected to, this one right here is actually connected to our input system from the main storage network. Okay, and then this one is just connected into this network, which is actually our drawer output network. But this is all just kind of a little system within that. Okay, it's all just plugged in basically into these cloche lines. And it's the same way over here. All this is just plugged over to the cloche lines that feed directly into the drawers. Because like the essence doesn't have a drawer that it can go to, so it will automatically default to going over here. And the only reason I have this output routing node is because it basically, the input node pulls in the master infusion crystals whenever this crafts, and then it cycles them back around. Now I will say, if you have a big Inferium farm, this really is, nodes aren't the best thing for it because they're actually kind of slow about pulling things out in comparison to something, some other item transfer system. Take your pick, really. But it's honestly fast enough for my needs. Okay, this system, it keeps it cleared on Inferium, and I don't know why. Why are we waiting so long to get Inferium? This is bizarre. I don't know why these have stopped working. They've just ceased. They've just ceased to work. Unless maybe it has to do with the tier 6 Inferium seeds. Because now that I think about it, I haven't really noticed essences going up all that much since I hit tier 6. So you know what? I actually think you may not be able to use a tier 6. Maybe this was just a wasted craft. Okay, I'm just going to go up to tier 4 because it starts getting expensive and I don't have the essence to upgrade all of them. So we're going to go with a tier 4 and then I might just replant those other ones. But I wasn't really watching my essence all that closely, but then I got to thinking, it's like it really hasn't gone up since I upgraded to the tier 6 ones. There we go, now it's growing again. Okay, so the tier 6 do not work in the cloche. Now we could probably still plant them down somewhere, but is it really worth it? Not really. So I probably just lost a ton of essence. I was just thinking, like, I kept looking and I was like, man, it's like really slow, it feels like. But usually, for the most part, I was on a different pack while this stuff was running and building up. So I probably I could have had a whole lot more essence by the time this episode started. But, oh, that's okay. I mean, I've got 5 Insanium and it'll build back up. And then I'll upgrade those back up to tier 5 once I get a bit of Insanium built up. Okay, but anyways, we've already talked about this output routing node. This output routing node basically pulls in essences. So right here I have slots for the Inferium Essence, the Prudentium, Intermedium, Supremium, and Supremium. And then I've got 3 of the Master Infusion Crystals. These are unlimited durability, they never break, and they're really cheap to craft. Like, that didn't take very long at all to get these. And actually, my initial Infusion Crystal, I didn't even use that much durability on it. I mean, I didn't have to make another one. You know, I still had 246. And I wasn't, like, min-maxing trying to get the exact amounts to upgrade. I was just kind of, like, crafting stacks, you know. But basically what happens here is it takes the essences and it crafts them down. So it takes the Master Infusion Crystal and the 4 essence and it turns it into the next tier. And then it'll turn it into the next tier, turn it to the next tier, turn it to the next tier, all the way up to Insanium. And basically what I've done here, I mean, this is all pretty straightforward. We've actually done this in quite a few packs in the past. Like this identical type setup, you know. But basically what it does is it tiers everything up. So if you take a look over here, you can see that I don't have void upgrades on any of this. So once it hits 8 stacks of Insanium, it's going to stop making Insanium, you know, once that backs up. Well, now that I think about it, though, it's still going to... Since I have it all in one crafter, I might have to change that. I mean, I don't think it really matters because I'm pretty much just crafting Insanium, because 8 stacks, I mean, that's a lot of Insanium. But I don't know, I'm going to play it by ear. I may have to do that through multiple crafters, now that I think about it. Well, I can do the Insanium through one crafter, and then I can lock the output slots to have Supremium, Intermedium, Superium, and Prudentium. And then what'll happen is, which we'll get into that later, but I think that's what I'm going to do, is just have the Insanium through a single crafter. Or actually, I'll probably do Insanium, the back 4, and then I'll do Prudentium through its own crafter, is what I'll actually probably do. Oh, but then I'm going to have the crystals, too. Yeah, so I'll probably do 3 in one and then 2 in the other, is what I'll probably do. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, I'm just building up Insanium, and it's going to take a little while to build up 8 stacks. I mean, that's the top tier, and it has to compound it. So maybe next episode or something, we'll change up the crafters. So I just now thought of that, but I've been super busy and tired between real life stuff and this pack and Exoria building and all that stuff. So that's my excuse. But anyways, once it backs up on all of these, it's going to basically just dump the Inferium Essence into this drawer. Once it hits 768 stacks, it's just going to void, you know, all the essence past that point. Realistically, I could just not void it, and then it would stop the cloches, but I had this set up here with a void upgrade, and I was just like, I'll just leave it like that. So that's fine if it voids it. I'm not too worried about it. And then aside from that, I've just been working on making different plates and stuff for Galacticraft, and just doing a lot of, like I said, a lot of preparatory work for our continued advancements. So, but a lot of our major prep work, a lot of our getting set up for mystical agriculture and getting set up for, you know, in a good spot for Galacticraft, a lot of that stuff is done. So today we are going to be continuing with our overworld stuff. We're not going to go into Galacticraft this episode. We will next episode. We'll get back into, you know, another episode of Galacticraft, and then we'll switch back over to overworld work. But what I want to do today is I want to work on ore processing. Okay, because we have all these ores coming in from this from the Void Orb Miner, all this stuff, but we're not actually using it at the moment. And I'm not going to, some of these things I'm actually probably not even going to worry about processing, like sulfur ore. I'm not going to worry about, at least at the moment. Cobalt, Ardite, probably not going to worry too much about those. Dimensional shard ore, probably not going to worry too much about that until we have a need for it, if we have a need for it. As of right now, I don't really have any need for those. At least in an automated fashion. I mean, I might take a stack of cobalt, a stack of Ardite, run it through the smeltery, but as far as like needing a bunch of it, I just don't have any need for it. The main things I need right now are, some of these metals, namely platinum and iron. Those are two of the biggest ones. I also need nether quartz, I need glowstone, I need redstone, all that stuff. And then we also need to automate prosperity shards, because we're going to need a lot of those if we want to get into ultimate ingots. And one thing I wanted to show you really, really quick, if you take a look at Essence, I have some seeds here. Compressed iron seeds do not work. They do not grow any kind of, I don't know if it's just a bug, because, you can do this, you can make compressed iron essence, but there's no craft for it at all. So I've actually got some compressed iron essence. Like you can see right there, I have 11 of it, but I can't do anything with it. I mean, there's none of the recipes, like the recipe layouts work for this. So it seems like it's just a useless seed. So don't waste your time crafting that one, by the way. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do for our ore processing system is I want to go ahead and automate gems like diamonds, emeralds, lapis, redstone, nether quartz, glowstone, certus, coal, and technically we can do dimensional shard ore as well if we want to. What we're going to do, and we're also going to automate prosperity shards, we are going to make ourselves some builders. So we're going to need some machine frames. Shouldn't be a problem. So there is 30 of them. That'll be good. And then we're going to craft ourselves 4 bricks. I'm going to need to make some bricks. Okay, we should be all set now. So there's 4 builders. And then we're going to need to make ourselves some cards for the builders. Let's see, shape card. Okay, yeah, we're going to need 4 shape cards. What am I missing? Bricks. Okay. I've got more bricks running, so let me pop over and let me go grab those. Really, really quick. Okay, so we're going to get 4 of these. And then I want to upgrade a couple of these, because I want to go for the clearing fortune quarries. So these right here, we're going to have to make quarry cards. That's fine. We're going to need a couple diamond pickaxes. And we are going to need a couple diamond shovels, which is not a problem. And then we're going to get a couple quarries. And then I want 2 shape cards, just straight up shape cards. And then I want 2 of the fortune quarries. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. And upgrade that. And then we're going to upgrade them one more time to clearing fortune quarries. So there we go. And there we go. Okay, so we got what we came for. And then let's pop over to the ore processing room. I'm actually going to set up all of this inside of the ore processing room. Just because it kind of makes sense there, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up, let's see, the first one we're going to put it right over here. And we're going to put an advanced power cell. We'll have it setting like right here. And we're going to go ahead and say all sides output, and we'll give it our link card so that it connects up to the system, which now stores a whopping 160 million RF. And then we're going to set up our builders. We're going to have one setting right here, one setting right there. And the first one, we're going to set up a shape card. We're going to shift right click that. And then we're going to pop downstairs. And we're going to link it to, let me actually put a block down right here. And we're going to link it to here. And the second corner, we're going to link to there. Okay, so it's only going to do that one block. Now, you could make it bigger if you so desired. I don't desire because it's on a server and we're going to have more than enough prosperity ore in no time. Okay, so then we're just going to take our shape card and we're going to put it right into there. And we're going to say redstone mode is ignored. If the operation is not possible, wait on the current position. And we're going to set it to keep running with a redstone signal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our ore dictionificator. And we're going to set this up. Oh, it got picked up by the system. Ore dictionificator. And we're going to put this setting right... I think I could actually put it right on top. I think it would work. And it kept its filters. That's great. And let's grab our output routing node. And I've actually got some input routing nodes being made. So we're going to put an output routing node setting like right here. And let's see, I'm going to need some filters, some precise item filters. But we're going to see if this works first. First and foremost, we're going to see if this works or if I actually need to feed the items. Like if it can pull the items from that or not. Because I'm not 100% sure. So if we take our copper and we throw it into there, it's going to make our Kevlar 22B copper ore. Okay, yeah, it's not going to work with this. So that's fine. Let's pull this off. And we'll pull that up. And we'll set the ore dictionificator setting like right... I'll tell you what, we're going to leave the ore dictionificator right over here. In fact. And then we're going to do... we'll grab ourselves an obsidian chest. We'll put this setting right there. And if I was to put the Kevlar 22B ore in there, there we go, it places it. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do an output routing node setting right here. And I'm going to go make some filters real quick for this. Because I'm going to need to grab my input routing nodes, which I've actually got frame parts, so that's not a problem. But I'm going to need to make some precise item filters. Just a few of these. So let me actually go ahead and just craft these up. Okay, so there's our controller slave, which we actually haven't used a whole lot of those within the series, but I do want one for over here. Let's pop back up here. And what we're going to do is, if we pop right down here, I want to pull up this block right here. And we're going to put a controller slave setting right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take an input routing node and just put it on our controller slave. And we're going to connect this over to a master routing node. Oh, I know why it's not placing, because I have that, it's like a chiseled bit that comes out. We're going to attach it to that. And then we're going to do an output routing node setting, you know, right here. And we're going to say on the north side, precise filter with copper. Okay. And then we'll just take this and connect it up to there. And it's going to start automatically pumping out copper into this and turning it into Kevlar 22B copper ore. And then what we'll do is we'll do an input routing node setting, you know, right here, and output routing node setting right over here that says on the downside, precise filter, Kevlar 22B copper ore. And we'll go ahead and just dump that stuff into there. And we're going to connect this over to there. And then we'll connect this up to this master system. Okay, so it's going to start taking all that Kevlar 22B ore, and it's going to start filling this chest up. And then if I ever want to stop this, I can just hit the lever, and there you go, it'll stop, you know. And then what we're going to do, now that that's in place, the builder is pretty much done. It's automatically getting the Kevlar 22B ore, and it can place it here. So then we're going to go ahead and set up our linking tool, and we're going to grab our Celestial Collector Crystal, and then I want to bind it to our Kevlar 22B copper ore. Just like so. And it's going to start changing that over. And then what we need to do is set up our first Clearing Fortune quarry card. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop up here in that other builder that we set up. And we're going to bind it here and second corner right there. And then we're going to want a filter module. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we're going to go ahead and put this, well, I'm going to have to set it first, right? No, I don't want to. Let's remove that. Let's pop down here, and we're going to set prosperity ore. Just shift right click it with our filter, and it's going to add prosperity ore to the filter. And you can see we're going to set this to whitelist items, prosperity ore, and we'll leave all the rest of this alone. Everything else is good. Okay, so then we're just going to pop this into our builder, and we're going to pop our quarry card into there, and we're going to say, if the operation's not possible, wait on the current position, and keep running with a redstone signal on to activate. And then we're going to put a chest right there, and we're going to put a lever down on the side of this, and activate. Okay, so you can see that it's pulled up that prosperity ore, and it has fortuned it. So we only got 2 shards that time, that's fine. But if we give this just a second, we should see it change that, that Kepler 22b ore over. There it was. It was like a split second. And you can see now we have 8 prosperity shards. So I mean, it's really, really quick about it, but it's working. And it's going to continue working and building us up on prosperity shards. So then we'll just set up an input routing node right there. We'll go ahead and grab it, and we'll connect it up to this output routing node line, which connects into our main input. Okay, so the prosperity shards are gone. If we take a look inside of here, we have 50 prosperity shards. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to set up our other 2 builders. These right here. And we're going to set these up like... we're going to set them up right over here. So we're going to have builder there, and advanced power cell setting right there. And we're going to go ahead and say output on all sides and connect it up to our system. There we go, 164 million RF storage. And we're going to say keep running with redstone signal, keep running with redstone signal. And we'll go ahead and put levers on the side of these. Just like before, we'll go ahead and activate them, that's fine. And what we're going to do is let me grab some ore from over here. And we'll grab like some glowstone. And we're going to set up a quarry that runs here and a builder that runs here too. It's going to run from there. It's not going to fill up the entire room, but we want a bunch of the room filled up. So basically it's just going to be a big block of ores that's going to be building like all the time. Okay, so from there up to there is what we're going to be building. So let's go ahead and take our shape card and shift right click there, shift right click, and shift right click. And we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to say box solid. We're going to make sure that that's selected. In the past it wasn't selected as solid, it was selected as just the framing, so you had to always set it, but so it's just kind of habit at this point. But we're going to go ahead and just drop that into there, and then we're going to add I'm out of obsidian chest. Wow, okay. And we're going to set an obsidian chest there, obsidian chest there. This one right here is going to have an output routing node. And we're going to go ahead and put a precise filter into this. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to use this as kind of, we can kind of set it to whatever we want to run at the time, because I don't necessarily want all of these running at all the time. I may want to change these out so it prioritizes certain ores and stuff like that. Right now I want to run nether quartz, glowstone, black quartz, redstone, diamond, emeralds. I don't really need Sardis at the moment, so I'm going to leave that one. I don't really want it. Dimensional shards. Do I really want these? I've got 5. Yeah, I'm going to run those for a minute, and then I'll probably pull that off. And what we're going to do then is we're just going to put these into the filter. Black quartz ore, redstone ore, coal ore, dimensional shards, emeralds, diamonds, nether quartz, glowstone. And then we'll put something in here that will never be in the system, so we'll say sigil of holding. Okay. And that's just so that if I clear out the entire filter, it doesn't just dump anything it wants to in there. So it can only take these items. And then what we'll do is, let me dump all this stuff into there. We're going to take our output routing node, and we're just going to connect this into this line over here that has the inputs. And if we give it just a second, it should start pumping the items over. There we go, it's getting black quartz. Let me retoggle this. There we go. Okay, so it's just built up a bunch of black quartz. It actually might just be pumping black quartz right now. That's fine. I mean, I could do something with like a round robin, but honestly, this should catch up after a while of running. I don't know, I'm going to let it run for a little while. It can just run black quartz for a minute, that's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our shape card for our clearing fortune quarry. Whoops. We're going to hit it right there. We're going to hit it right there. And we're going to hit it right there. Because this thing's going to just eat through ores. It's going to be crazy fast. So we'll go ahead and drop that into there. And toggle that. And there we go. So if we take a look right now, actually, this isn't plugged up yet. Oh, it's only getting cobblestone. How bizarre. But if I mine this... Oh, that's right. You just get black quartz. You have to actually run it through something. Okay, wait. Let me pull black quartz out of there. We don't want that anymore. I've emptied that of black quartz. Now it's got redstone, which is great because I do want a bunch of redstone. Because I'm getting kind of lowish on redstone. Like I have 4.9 thousand. And the other day I had like 20,000. So I'm just going to let it eat that black quartz. I'm not worried about it. So if we hit this on... There we go. And it's still getting cobblestone. What is this? Yeah, I mean, I can manually mine it. This is actually kind of OP. Because I can just hold down... Like, look at the XP going up. And it's literally, since I'm being fed the whole time, like, it's like endless resources. And then I can just dump it in there. This might be the way to go, honestly. Is just have it build it, and then it's not like fully automated, but look at that, 16.23 thousand. That's pretty powerful, I think. Since this isn't working, I mean, I could always set it up to run through machines. And now that we've reached this point, I remember them bringing it up before that the fortune quarry just gave you cobblestone for some reason when you were mining ores like this. I guess to prevent you from being able to do a setup like this for processing. Oh, there's still more redstone. Great, because I don't have enough. So 17.6 thousand. And it literally took me like just a split second. So honestly, I think a manual system might be fine for this. And maybe I'll shut off redstone for right now. I don't really need any more of that coming in. Why does it do that? I didn't tell it to duplicate. Because I can literally like just stand right here and do this. And it's XP. Like, look at the XP gain. And not to mention, this pick has like super fortune, so I'm getting even more than like probably any machine would be able to get. And I literally just have to stand here and hold this for like 10 or 15 seconds. And it's like thousands upon thousands of stuff. Not to mention it's like an XP farm like crazy. Now we have 32.7 thousand redstone. And there's 40,000 redstone. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to do it like that. I think that's a pretty effective method. Now, one thing I do want to get real quick is just a wireless charger. Because this thing's going to run out of power pretty quick. So if we just put that right there, and I should stay filled up on charge for our system. And, oh man, this is so much redstone. Like, it is like the mother lode of redstone at the moment. Yeah, I actually think this is probably the best method. Since we can't use the fortune quarry, that way we can actually process this stuff like super fast. And I mean, I can literally just walk over here and just tear through it like this. And I never have to stop to eat. I never have to stop to repair my pick. Because the XP is keeping it full. This is actually kind of fun. To be perfectly honest, this is actually kind of fun and exciting. Just to watch the redstone just skyrocket up like this. And it really doesn't take any effort at all. 64,000. Which is actually, I think, more redstone than we're going to need, like, for the rest of the pack. So, I mean, yeah. I think I'm going to go with this. I think I like it. And then I can go ahead and just consolidate that. And I'm just going to remove redstone from this because I don't really need it anymore. But if you take a look at the redstone ore, I mean, I ate through a lot of it because we had like 60,000 or something like that. Or 32,000. Really? Is that all I ate through? There's so much of this. But honestly, if I set it up to automate, it would just be voiding most everything that it's producing. So, honestly, I think this is a pretty good method for it. Okay, so hands down, I have to keep this system. like this. I love it. Because, like, okay, I had like 200 glowstone, right? I have 21,000. That took about 40 seconds. I was kind of watching the time on it. Nether quartz, we have almost 40,000 nether quartz. Dimensional shards, right? We only have like 5. We have about 20,000 of those. Diamonds, 9,000. And look at all these hacks. Look at these hacks. Just diamond hacks. And I'm about to hit 700 XP levels. This is just completely ridiculous at this point. Because I can literally sit here and hold the button. The only thing I have to watch is glowstone. I got 20,000 glowstone, and it brought my pick down to about halfway. Because of course I'm not getting XP off of that, but it doesn't really matter. Because I got 20,000 glowstone for half a pick, and then I just switched ores, and then pew, it's back up like instantly. It's ridiculously OP. Like, I've almost went through all the ores. The only thing I have left is emerald and coal. And I'll have, like, thousands of everything. So, just to give you an idea. And, I mean, I could add some little, like, cool little add-ons to this, like vacuum collection, stuff like that. And I may eventually add that. But right now, I'm actually kind of having fun just going through clicking all this stuff in. Just to see how much, like, craziness. See, we've got 25.5 thousand diamonds at the moment, so I think we're probably pretty good on those. And I may end up changing this to like maybe a smaller chest, or adding like a flush system or something like that. You know, there's a couple little like features that I could add to this, and I might add as time goes on, but like right now I'm actually pretty happy with this. It's very easy to change it over to like a different type of material, and it's so powerful. Because I can literally just sit here and hold the button and just watch things just go crazy. And watch my XP levels just skyrocket. Like, look whenever I'm mining emeralds. Dimensional shard was kind of this way. It's just like crazy levels. Every once in a while it'll do that and it'll kind of get stuck. I think it's just because there's so much going on, it just can't keep up. I'm having way too much fun with this, as you can tell. Like, it's just... something about watching all these ores just implode. It's so much fun. And if you want to see, like, the funniest part... look at the amount of blocks broken on the Swift Pick. 164,732 blocks broken with our Swift Pick. Of course, it has been my tool since like age 2. But we're at 901 levels. We have 47,848 coal now. And I had like not much. Like 2 stacks or something. Because I was crafting with it earlier. I haven't ran lapis, but I have 36,000 lapis, so I think I'm okay on lapis. I think I'm pretty good on like all this stuff now. In truth, I'm back up on redstone. I mean, I'm good on like everything. I honestly doubt we're gonna need any more resources for like the rest of the pack, as far as those resources go. So, okay, and let's take a look at our prosperity shards. Let's see where we're at on those. 465, which isn't too bad. Now, one thing I want to craft real quick. Let's actually pop over to our RS system. And our essences are going up now, which is awesome. I looked earlier, and we had a decent amount. Like, it's actually going up again. Yeah, we have 11 Insanium essence, which we were down to, like, what, 4 or 5 earlier? It actually goes up pretty decently fast when it's not broken. I don't know why I was just like, oh, well, maybe it's just taking a long time or something. It should have been faster. But, that's okay. That is okay. So anyways, we're going to lay out some prosperity shards like so. And we're going to take some iron, which we're going to be automating ores here in a minute. But we're going to get ourselves... let's go ahead and get 2 stacks of... we're close to 2 stacks of base essence ingots. And I'm going to go ahead and... where does this one go? 2 over from the modularium. Okay. So I'm going to put that right there. And then we've got 64 base essence ingots. And then what we can do, let's grab a little bit of this insanium. And I'm going to go ahead and craft this stuff down. So we'll have, we'll go ahead and upgrade it. So we have inferium ingots. So we'll get a few of those. And I actually need a lot more of this. Okay, so there's 64 inferium. I'm going to go ahead and break this down into like 5 piles here. And we'll do like, you know, inferium goes, I think it goes right there, right? Yeah, okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and just break this stuff down. So we'll get our prudentium, and then there's prudentium ingots. Let me go ahead and break down a little bit more of this stuff. Okay, so there's 12 prudentium. I'll be able to make a lot more of this by like tomorrow. But for right now, this will be fine. And then we'll go ahead and break down a little bit more of this stuff. And we kind of just have to tier this stuff up as we go. So there's intermedium. And there's superium. Just add into there. And then we need supremium. And I'm pretty much out of essence at this point. Okay. Well, anyways, we got up to superium. Or supremium. That goes there, and then we've got our superium. And then I have to tier up some more and get the last tier, which is the insanium. So we need to get some of this stuff. And then there's one other ingot that we need, and that is the glowstone ingot. This right here from Mechanism. To make this, we need an osmium compressor. Now, you can make seeds of this, but there's not really a whole lot of point. I'm not going to bother with that. So we're going to need to make a compressing, an osmium compressor or a compressing factory. So let's take a look at that. And of course, we're going to go straight for the compressing factory because why not? And we're going to need some advanced mechanical or advanced control circuits. I did make a bit of alloys between episodes, so we should have plenty of that for today. And we still have to do the actual ore processing like iron and stuff like that. We're going to get to that. Hopefully this episode, if not, it'll be next episode or the following episode, depending on where we're at on time. Okay, so we got our osmium compressor, and we're going to go ahead and just upgrade this. Basic compressing factory. Let me go ahead and get a couple of these, and then we're going to get a couple more for upgrading. There's our advanced compressing factory, and then 2 of those, and our elite compressing factory. Those are really easy to craft at this point. And then we're also going to need some osmium, and we're going to need some glowstone, which some of the metals we are starting to get low on, but hopefully by the time we get finished with maybe today's episode, I'm hoping we can fit it in here. I spent a little bit longer with that ore processing system playing with that than I intended to. So if we pop over to here, and we'll set up our compressing factory, set it to auto sort on, that's great. Osmium, glowstone, and we'll get that running, and it's going to make us glowstone ingots. And the osmium basically goes in over here, kind of like, you know, the redstone stuff did. It does eat through it a little bit faster because it turns into like a liquid and just kind of like noms through it. But honestly, we have plenty of osmium, and soon enough we're going to have more than enough osmium once we start ore processing. So there we go, we're producing glowstone ingots, which is the last ingot type aside from insanium, which is kind of exciting. I mean, we're literally 1 ingot away from starting to craft these. So I'm going to go for like a full stack. I think we're going to need a little bit more than a stack, but I'm going to go for a full stack, and then we'll just make whatever else we need after the fact. So honestly, getting that first big stack done is the worst part. But anyways, I'm going to cut for a little bit. I'm going to let our essences build back up, because right now we're pretty much tapped out on essences. Well, we do have an insanium, but I'm going to need at least 2 to make our first insanium ingot. Okay, it's actually the next day that we're picking back up, and I let the essences run for a while. I let the prosperity shards run for a while. Right now we have 4.1 thousand prosperity shards, and if you take a look right here, I did spend a bit of essence. I've got 64 of all of these. I've got 58 supremium. I also upgrade our seeds back up to a tier 5, so that was a bit of essence right there. And if you take a look here, we have 21 more essence. Now, we did have about 80 essence, but I spent about 60 of it, you know, upgrading seeds and upgrading ingots and all of that. I've actually got, if you noticed right here, I've got another 38 supremium, or superium, that just need to be upgraded into, you know, supremium and then so on. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to take our essence. I'm going to go ahead and grab 20 of it. We're going to clear this thing out, and let's grab, I only need like 10 of this, but let's go ahead and upgrade this, and there is our insanium ingots, 10 of those. And so it's actually not going to take all that long, because I mean that was just basically while I was asleep. We got that much essence, and now I have tier 5 seeds. And it's going to be running, you know, just all the time on a server. So, but if you need to upgrade the essence, it's not a big deal to upgrade. You know, to add more cloches or add a big farm or whatever. And so that means we now have all of the ingots required for our ultimate ingot. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff out. And this is all shapeless craft as well. It should be shapeless craft. Oh, I can't shift click it in. Great. That means I get to lay all this out manually. I may leave this stuff in the ultimate crafting table. I know with Avaridia it has a bad habit of disappearing in the past, but I'm hoping that the ultimate crafting table will be safe. I don't know, I might pull it out just to be on the safe side, because I don't want it sitting here and then all of my ingots vanishing from it. That would be kind of a bummer. Honestly, most of this isn't too bad. The only thing that's really rough is the Galgadorian, which really isn't rough. It's just I'm out of platinum, which hopefully we're going to have that fixed by the end of the episode. The Galgadorian and the Insanium is just, at the moment, because I don't have a stockpile built up, it's kind of a waiting game on that. But I think getting it started right now is perfect, because we're going to have plenty of time. Okay, so there we go. There is our ultimate ingots. With great power comes great responsibility, I'm assuming. And we'll be out of Galgadorian and Insanium, that's fine. There we go. 10 ultimate ingots. And advancement, let's go. Oh, it's got a big lag spike here. What's going on? It's a mega lag spike. Are we going to unlock another age or something? Pow! Stage creative again. Okay, well, we'll roll with it. And if we take a look here, I want to go ahead. We have enough ultimate ingots to craft something. The ultimate components. There is none better than I. If you take a look here, it's luminescence and black iron slates. Let me actually craft up a little bit more of this luminescence. There's 36. And let me go ahead and make as many of these as possible. Because your uses for the ultimate ingot, like if you take a look, the only use for the ultimate ingot, I mean, you can make blocks and stuff, but really the only use for it is crafting the ultimate component, which is used to make the ultimate catalyst. So we might as well go ahead and just craft these all into ultimate components, and then we're going to craft one ultimate catalyst. There we go. And really these aren't that expensive. I mean, as the Insanium builds up over the next few episodes, we're going to have plenty of these. So we've got our first ultimate catalyst. And if you take a look here, its uses, you need 2 for the creative jetpack. You need 8 for the creative tank. You need 4 for the creative energy cube, which I think is going to be the first creative item that we go for, because it's actually super cheap. We could actually craft this probably next episode. I'm thinking. After looking through all this, we could probably pull that off. I mean, we need a lot of Insanium right here, because each of these are 9 Insanium essence, and you need 4 ultimate furnaces. But, by the time we do next episode, we should have plenty of Insanium for that. And then we just need the 4 catalysts, and then 4 redstone singularities, which really isn't that bad. We have plenty of redstone at the moment for that. And then you also need 2 for the creative compressor. There and there. So it's actually not too bad. And then the creative Tinker's Construct modifier isn't too bad at all. So there we go. We got our ultimate ingot, and yeah, it looks like that's the final crafts, just those 5. But you are going to need quite a few of the ultimate ingots. So, because like for example, this right here, that's 32 ultimate ingots that you need to craft these 4. And then like for example, the creative jetpack's not too bad, just requiring 16. But the creative tank is the one that takes 8. So I mean, that's a full stack of ultimate ingots that you need for this. So I think all in all, we'll probably aim for about 2 stacks of ultimate ingots. It's not all that bad, especially once we have more platinum. It's not terrible, and as our essence builds up, it's just one of those things that's going to come naturally, I think. So that's not too bad. It's actually one of the cheaper end games, I think, overall for most packs. So I'm pretty excited to be diving into it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, I want to get into ore processing. And basically what we're going to do, this is going to be a simple, straightforward, like I said, I'm not really going to worry about, because I have so many materials coming in. I feel like ore quintupling and ore quadrupling and all that stuff is really for if resources are rare, it's useful. But when you have infinite, literally infinite resources coming in, like, like 5 or 6 ores a second, it's just not, there's not a whole lot of point in it, in truth. So I think what we're going to do is, if you take a look at like platinum, for example, this is the big one. I'm just going to go with a crusher from Mechanism, crush it down into platinum dust, and then smelt it in the energized smelter. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Now you could double it, if you want to double it and get the chance for secondaries, you can. I just don't think there's any point in truth. Especially with it being on a server and us being able to run factories, I think we'll be fine. So let me go ahead and make up a... I want to make a crusher, and I'm going to be short 1 bucket of lava. Let me pop over and grab that. And I also need to grab, out of our mechanism room, I need to grab some of the metals that we have down there. And I'm actually only going to be going with like 1 of these, just because there's not really any reason at all to go anymore, because bear in mind that this is a single block, a single factory, you know, is the equivalent of 7 crushers. So I feel like it's plenty. Plus, we're going to do speed upgrades here in just a second and start actually speeding some of these machines up. So I think it's, at the end of the day, especially being on a server, honestly, I think it's going to be overkill with just 1 of these. So there's our crusher. And then I'm also going to want to get a smelter, the energized smelter, in fact. So let's go ahead and snag that. And then we're going to upgrade these into factories. So basic smelting factory, basic crushing factory, and then we're going to move into, let me get 2, 3, 4 of those, and then actually 4 more of those. And let's go ahead and get advanced smelting factory, advanced crushing factory, and then, oops, I need to first craft the elite control circuits, 4 of those, and elite crushing factory, elite smelting factory. Okay, there we go. They're so cheap in this pack. Like, it's hard to say no to them because they're just so cheap. And they're so good, honestly. That's one thing that's nice about Mechanism, because you can kind of save space by having the equivalent of 7 machines in a single block space. I love the factories. I think they're probably my favorite block within Mechanism, I dare say. I love them. They're just great. They are great. Okay, so let's see. Over here we've got this crazy system, which I've actually got, it's all turned off right now because I just had so many resources. I think we're going to set up our smelting right here. Our, actually, let me move that. Crushing factory, smelting factory, power cell, output. There we go. Honestly, we're at the point of Endgame where all this is pretty simple. Which is actually going down right now because it's night. But if we have a creative energy cube by next episode, like, power troubles will be solved, even though there's not really any power troubles at the moment. But we'll have pretty much infinite power come next episode. It's going to be great. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to set it to auto sort is on. Auto sort is on. And I'm going to set an output routing node. Let's actually configure this. We're going to say side config. This is items. And we're going to... I'm going to clear all this out. I tend to like it being cleared. We're going to say that the top side, or the left side, is going to be input, dark red. And then the top side is going to be output, dark blue. And then we'll just take our output routing node, we're going to plug it up right there, and we're going to bind it to here. Or actually, let me, before I do that, let me set the precise item filter, because I'm going to filter the things coming into here, and basically, once again, I'm going to put sigil of holding there, and that way I can select what I'm processing. Because a lot of these things, I just don't have any need for all of these resources coming in, you know, just non-stop. I just don't have any use for it. I mean, that's the thing about a lot of this in-game, especially whenever you have environmental tech. You just don't need the amount of stuff that you're producing. Especially with in-game crafts that are fairly cheap, you know, at the end of the day. The main thing I need right this second is platinum, and then I'm going to change it over to iron, and then osmium, and a couple other things. But I'm just going to let them run for a little while. So platinum is pumping into this, and then we can connect it to there. And there we go. Platinum is pouring into this. Oh, it's getting osmium. Why in the world? I didn't set it on the right side. North side, which that's fine. I need some osmium too. We're going to say north side precise filter. There we go. And now it shouldn't get any more osmium in. So you can see it's producing osmium dust. And then what we're going to do is input routing node. Or do I even want to do an input routing node? Or do I want to do... actually, I'll probably do item conduits, in fact, in this case. So right here, let me clear all this stuff out. So input, and then we'll say the output is on this side, dark blue. Now right here, let me craft up. I guess we're going to go back to the inductive logistics pipes, because I actually quite like these. So let's get some item injection pipes. Let's get some more item transport pipes. And let's get item extraction pipe, which I'm not for sure if I would need the item extraction. I'll have to look and see. Item transport. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need the extraction actually. Item extraction right there. It's not fitting the items in though. It may not actually connect to the mechanism. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So it's connected up, and you can see it's pulling out the osmium and it's dumping it into here, and it's starting to smelt it. Simple. Easy as pie. And then all we need to do is, it's actually super simple. Super simple. It's not really an elaborate ore processing system, but it does what I need it to do perfectly. We're going to put an input routing node setting right there, and grab our node router, connect it up to the output routing node, and if we take a look, the osmium is pulling out. Okay. There we go. It's just not super fast. But it looks like it's fast enough. Well, it's not going to be fast enough whenever I actually start. Okay, let me change this up a little bit. Let me instead, let me grab that. Let me make an ender chest, actually. We're going to have this actually just feed directly into an ender chest. And that way it can go, you know, straight into the system, get pulled out, go wherever it needs to go, that kind of thing. Which I'll probably have to speed up. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use the node system. I'm going to have to use something else to pull the items out. That's fine. Because whenever we put speed upgrades in this, it's just not going to keep up. And we'll set down our ender chest right there. Our diamond lock. There we go. So it's connected to our line. And then we're going to say the side config auto eject is on. Okay, so it's just dumped everything into the ender chest. Yeah, and you can see it's dumping the items in as they get finished. But it's not as fast as it needs to be, that's for sure. So what we're going to do, let's pop over to the RS system, and we're just going to do just a basic input for the refined storage network. Which these chests are still like good on storage. I mean, they're starting to get a little bit cluttered up, but that's okay. So we're going to do a, what's it called in refined storage? The importer. We're going to make one of these. So there's that. And then I'm also going to want stack upgrades, which are speed upgrades, sugar and redstone through the inscriber. We're going to need some upgrades. Let's go ahead and get 4... And I want to say it was stack and 3 speed was the best you could do. It's been a while, but I seem to remember, at least back when I used it back in 1.10, I want to say it was stack and 3 speed. Because it sped up processing and it did a stack at a time, I think was the best. I think so. And let me get another ender chest real quick. I'm going to want one for importing over here. Okay, so we're going to set our ender chest up like right there. Diamond lock on it. And then I'm going to have to pop down. And we'll put it right there, our importer. And then I just have to fix this floor up. There we go. And then we need to add upgrades to this, because we do have slots here for 4 upgrades, and we want to speed it up. And then we'll dump that in there, speed upgrade. So we've got all of those in there, and it should be fast enough to keep up with the sped up smelters and crushers. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to get some upgrades from Mechanism, and eventually I'm going to add these to like all of our machines, but right now I want energy and speed upgrades. And I want 16 of each of these. So we're going to need some gold grit and some osmium dust. So let me get osmium, which we've actually gotten quite a bit of that since we were messing with it before. And then we're going to need the gold. And let's pop over and get this stuff crushed up. And I am going to set up a crusher, you know, a mechanism crusher over in our mechanism workshop. I am going to set one of those up for our personal use, but for right now, I'm just going to crush this stuff up in our crushers. Okay, so there's our 16 osmium and our 16 gold grit. And let's warp up here. The energy upgrade is basically like, it handles energy storage and efficiency. So you do want to, honestly, you can go like 5 or 6 speed upgrades, but I always go for full energy upgrades because it's just nice to have. Now, honestly, I think with our advanced power cell, we should be able to run this. It might... I don't think it should run out the power during the night. It shouldn't, but who knows, you know. And are we still doing good on copper? I think we should still be pulling in... Yeah, copper's like maxed. So we're pulling in more copper than we're actually using, but it's enough prosperity shards. Like, I've got enough prosperity shards probably for the rest of the pack, you know. So I think we'll be alright on those. Alright, so our upgrades, we want the speed upgrades, and we want 16 of these, and they only stack to 8, so just a heads up. And then we need 16 energy upgrades, and they only stack to 8 because 8's the most you can put into a machine. And then we're going to click here, upgrades, and dump in our energy upgrades, and they're going to start going into our machine. And then over here, there we go. You could say this is, got a little bit of platinum in there now, which is good. It's almost eaten through this osmium. Now, technically, I could set, you know, 7 different things in here and have each slot, you know, platinum, osmium, gold, iron, and so on. And I may do that. We'll see. Maybe turn auto sort off and just set like 7 different things in the filter and let it go. But right now, I just want to focus on the platinum mainly, for at least for a little bit. Okay, so the energy upgrades are in, and then we're going to toss in. Let's start with 4 speed upgrades, just to show you the difference. Okay, so it's going to start loading in the upgrade. It does take a second, and you can see here in just a moment, it seems like it's sped up a bit. It's still got another upgrade. Like, look how fast it's going now. It's a bit faster. And as far as energy consumption, it's using 140 RF per tick. Really? That's it? Are you serious? 140 RF per tick isn't even going to scratch anything. And that's for 7... Basically 7 crushers at once. It's so low on RF. It's lower than I remember. I remember these machines, whenever you put 8 upgrades, I remember times when it was like a lot of power. Of course, it may have been, like, look at that. Now we're starting to pull in materials. And I probably need to speed this up because it's going to get behind if I don't. But yeah, at full speed, this is with 8 speed, 8 energy upgrades. We're only using 1.4 thousand RF per tick. Which is, I mean, that's minimal. Because we pull in 500,000 per tick during the day. So, okay, we're going to go with it. I'll take it. And then over here, we've got 3 speed upgrades, 2 upgrades. And this is why we need, yeah, I mean, it's going to be pulling in materials a bit faster. And you can see items just shooting across there. Okay, so we got all of our upgrades in. And over here, we're also using 1.4 thousand RF per tick. And we're smelting like crazy. So even though we're only getting 1 metal per ore, does it really matter when you have 512 stacks of like everything? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. And the fact is, that void miner is still running. And right now, I mean, it's pretty much voiding everything that it's generating. The void resource miner, probably not as much. I mean, I've got 16,000 mica. I've got 81,000 obsidian. Cobblestone, 241,000. So it may not be voiding everything from the resource miner, but I know it's definitely voiding everything from the ore miner. Because it's like, it's like, if you take a look at environmental tech, like, look at that, just pew. Lawn's Delight would be like one of the few things that's probably not voiding. And there might be a couple resources over here, because I did just run all those diamonds and emeralds yesterday. So these may not have filled up, but yeah, everything over here is like capped. And it's just voiding like everything. So, and especially being on a server, like, yeah, look at that, just platinum dust. It's insanity. So, I mean, if you sit here and watch it, I'm getting like 5 platinum a second, 6 platinum a second, something like that. Actually, it's probably more like 7 because it only takes about, well, it takes about a second and a half to run through platinum. So, I'm getting about 7 ingots every second and a half. So, I mean, you can literally, if you look at the platinum, 486, 493, 497, 500, and so on. I mean, it's skyrocketing up. So I'm going to have plenty of platinum to craft up lots of Galgadorian, which will be great. And if we pop over here, it's all coming into here perfectly. Also, you'll notice down through here, I did add void upgrades and storage upgrades. Everything can hold like at least 2,000 stacks. And most things are set to void. Meteoric iron is not set to void. We have 28 stacks of that at the moment. Black iron's not set to void. Your bronze. Most of our alloys aren't set to void, but most everything else is. So we've got 22 stacks of steel, which that comes out to be, because I'm going to need 10,000 steel. That's 1.4 thousand. That's not too bad. We should have plenty of steel by the time that I actually need it for crafting. So there we go. It's like a super small little ore processing system. It's a little bit, we're not going with the quintupling method, but I just don't feel like there's a need for it. Because honestly, it's going to come out to be slower than this. And basically my thinking is, I don't think it's going to produce metal as fast overall as doing just the crushing and the smelting factory, because it's like a second and a half and it's like 7 metals, which I think the Ormatic Mark III was, if we take a look, 87 ticks to process and make 5 titanium dust. Okay, and then I can just smelt it. That's not a problem, but 87 ticks, that's like almost 4.5 seconds that it's going to take to process that to get 5 metal, whereas I'm getting like 7 metal every like second and a half, give or take. So it ends up being faster, and when you have infinite metals, it's just, you might as well. Because I've literally got 31,000 platinum in here, and it's constantly going up, with the resource or the void miner. It's constantly going up. And 31,000 platinum, I would never need platinum again. If I run half of that, I'm going to be good on platinum. So I'm already up to 1.1 thousand. So I feel like if you're running the void ore miner, you might as well go with this instead of the Ormatic. Plus the modular machines in this pack are so ugly, I'd rather just not use them, if at all possible. It's just because they're so bad looking. I'm very, very disheartened by it. So it's actually a little bit different of an ore processing system. Like that is not what I was originally planning on going with, and this is definitely not what I was originally planning on going with. But they work, and they work well and fast. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty simple, actually, but I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, and one last thing. I know it's about wrapping up point. I know it's past wrapping up point. But one last thing that I want to do this episode, just to get us ready to actually start crafting creative items. Because next episode, like I said, I'm planning on... We're gonna start the episode by getting into creative items, and then we're gonna go to space. So the first thing what I want to do is I want to set up. I actually crafted up a quantum compressor. They're not expensive. It's all straightforward. And then I crafted up an exporter from refined storage, and then some speed upgrades, stack upgrade, and an ultimate catalyst, which is the emerald one. Also straightforward to craft. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up ourselves a quantum compressor. Let me grab some aluminum wire, and I'm just going to run this over and connect it in right there. And then I'm going to pull this up, and we're going to put down the exporter right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our ultimate catalyst, we're going to put it right into there. And our exporter, we're going to go ahead and toss our upgrades into there. And we are going to whitelist redstone. Okay, so it's going to start pumping redstone into this super fast, and you can see that the redstone's building up, and we're going to be working on our singularities. I need 5 of these altogether, because that's the only thing. You don't need the ultimate catalyst for anything, you just need just basic singularities. Okay, no, we're going to need 5 of them, because we need 1 for the creative modifier. That's actually another really cheap craft. It's possible, depending on how things go, come next episode, because this is all super cheap. All of this, glowstone, lapis, coal, none of that's expensive. This is a super cheap craft. So come next episode, it's possible that we might craft the creative energy cube and the creative modifier, and possibly even the creative jetpack. I'm not for sure, because it's not terribly expensive either. It does take some supremium chest plates, elytras, which we've got. If we do, we'll actually probably wait. I don't know, we might craft it. I might get the stuff together, because we're going to have to craft the jetpack tiers, and I want to craft those on camera because they do have advancements tied into them. But for the most part, anything that we haven't covered, like paper clips, we'll probably craft those at the start of next episode. But most of this is all simple craft. It's basically just crafting. Solar array controller tier 6s are probably the most involved part, and we've crafted those before. Oh, you know what? We're not going to be able to do that because we're going to have to get into actually additions first. For some reason, I was thinking that this one didn't take any actual additions. So, I don't know. I don't know if we'll make the creative cube next episode, or if we will. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out, because I do want to go into space, because we have galactic craft. So next episode, I think that'll be our primary focus, is space. But we might craft the creative tool modifier. We'll see. And also, before we head into space next episode, I want to get into nanobots. So I'm going to prep up some stuff for that, and then we'll quickly get into nanobots, quickly craft the creative modifier, and possibly craft the creative jetpack out, because there's no... oh yeah, you need diamantine, but we can knock that out real quick. That literally takes us a second to make diamantine. But I think for the most part, I mean, it's a lot of energy storage blocks for the sails. And then over here, we've got a bunch of this stuff, but this is... Oh, wait, we need tier 8 rockets. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, next episode, we're going to make the creative modifier, and that'll probably be it. And then we'll do nanobots, and we'll go into space. So, scratch a lot of what I was talking about there, but that's okay. But we'll get our first creative item knocked out next episode. So I'll make up the redstone singularities, lapis, glowstone, coal. I mean, these singularities don't take a long time to craft as long as you have the materials and you're pumping out just a ton of items, you know. So here we go. Moment of truth. 9,600, 9,700, 9,800, 9,900, and pow! 10,000, and it's crafting. Yeah, see the little craft bar there. The redstone's going to keep building up, which is fine, because we're going to need, like I said, 5 of these. But if you weren't, you know, running 5 of these, you can just stop it and inject it. There we go. Okay, so it just drained 10,000 of the redstone in there. It seems like it needs a little bit more. Like, it doesn't start crafting until it hits 10,000. It's kind of bizarre, kind of weird, but that's fine. So anyways, there is our very first redstone singularity. And then if you want to stop it, because I'm not too worried about redstone, what we can do is we can hit eject. And there we go. It's going to start ejecting the redstone. So I don't want to eject, though. I want to keep that in there. So let's throw that back in there and keep pumping out. So, I mean, you can get your stuff back. It's not a big deal. But we did get our very first singularity, and we got our ultimate ingots, our ultimate catalyst, and we're very much on the road to starting creative items. Like I said, next episode, we'll knock this one out for sure. This one, we're going to have to start actually additions, which we'll start in the next couple episodes. It's not a big deal. It's just something I'm trying to sort everything, so we do a little bit of Galacticraft and then a little bit of other stuff, then a little bit of Galacticraft and a little bit of other stuff, because we do need, you know, if nothing else, we do need these advancements. Also, one thing that we might do next episode, like I said, we're going to start nanobots next episode. At the start of the episode, I'm going to prep up some things, because it's all pretty straightforward, just a lot of crafting. We might actually be going into space without a space suit on. I'm going to do a little bit more testing, but I think we're going to be okay to go into space without a spacesuit come next episode, which is exciting. Because I heard that Venus just eats through armor durability like crazy fast, so I actually don't think that we're even going to need armor when we go to Venus. But like I said, I want to do a little bit more testing because I don't want to die. I don't want to lose my 900 levels. No, I actually just don't. I don't want to die, you know. So we'll see how it goes, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And, oh, one thing I want to mention just really quick. I have a lot of Galgadorian metal here, because between cuts I was actually crafting up Galgadorian, so making lumps of Galgador to make enhanced Galgadorian, and I accidentally melted all this stuff down without upgrading it to lumps, and there's no way to turn it back. Which we do need, like, I was wanting like about 2 stacks of metal, but now I have like an extra 42 just sitting here. So, just kind of a whoops moment. So be careful if you're, you know, if you're processing that down. Make sure you craft it down first before you melt it. Don't do like I did and just, yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. So anyways, I feel like we got a lot done today. If you guys have any questions on anything that we covered today, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. But anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.